Okay, let's take a look at a whole bunch of examples of distribution. So let's take something like negative 4 open bracket x minus 3 close bracket equals negative 8. So notice I skipped a line from my title. It's always helpful in case you want to do steps directly above the question. So if we have something in front of the brackets, we're simply going to take that thing and distribute it in, multiplying it in, putting an arrow from the thing in front to both things. Now I'm simply just going to do times. So I'm taking the negative 4 on the outside and I'm following the first arrow and timesing it by x. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Then I'm going to take the thing in front, negative 4, and times it by the negative 3 on the inside. Negative times a negative is positive. And 4 times 3 is 12, making sure we work on the signs. Then the numbers. On the right-hand side, we have negative 8. So I'm going to minus 12 from both sides, performing the opposite operation to both sides of the equation. I had a plus 12, so I'm going to do a minus 12. On the left-hand side, we have 12 minus 12, which is 0. Cross it out. We have negative 4 equals negative 4x equals negative 8 minus 12. Adding and subtracting on the number line, we get negative 24. Negative 20. Now on the left-hand side, we have negative 4 times x. The opposite operation of times is divide, so we want to divide both sides by negative 4. On the left-hand side, negative 4 over negative 4 is 1. Cross it off. X equals 5. Circle your answer. Check your answer. Rewrite the question. Negative 4, open bracket, x minus 3, close bracket equals negative 8. Carefully substitute with brackets. Now, I mean carefully. So substitute with brackets around the variable and carry everything else down. I very carefully just put 5 in for x. It's not very pretty. I'm going to do it again. 5. And I put brackets around the substitution and then put everything else that I haven't touched down, which means there's just extra brackets. Who cares? Now I'm going to work on the inside brackets. The inside brackets say 5 minus 3. The answer is 2. And I'm going to carry everything else down. I'm going to put the negative 4 out in front. I'm going to put equals negative 8 off to the right. On the left-hand side, we have negative 4 times 2. We learned that if we have the different signs, negative 4 times positive 2, negative times a positive is a negative, and 4 times 2 is 8, and equals negative 8. Near the answer, x equals 5, check mark. So I'm going to shrink this up a tad. I hope you're writing a little bit smaller than I am. So let's take a look at a short form. So I have negative 4, open bracket, x minus 3, close bracket equals negative 8. Well, I could distribute like I just did on the left, or I have a negative 4 times a set of brackets, and the opposite operation is divide. So I can divide both sides by 4 right away. On the left-hand side, negative 4 over negative 4 is 1. Cross it off, and we get x minus 3 equals, on the right-hand side, we have negative 8 divided by negative 4. A negative divided by a negative, we can use the rule same plus. So we get a positive. Notice I care about the signs first, then I work on the numbers separately. 8 divided by 4 is 2. On the left-hand side, I have minus 3. I want to perform the opposite operation to both sides, adding 3 to both sides. X equals 5. Same answer. Already checked my answer. Check mark. So again, do whatever you want to, just don't break the laws. If you like the example on the left, do the example on the left. If you like the example on the right, do the example on the right. If you can't divide very well, don't do the example on the right and do the example on the left. Just don't break any of the laws. Okay, another example, 1 over 2. I'm going to put the x plus 4 on the top where it belongs, equals 6. So again, I can distribute the thing in front to both sides. Negative, or a half times x is just 1/2 x. And a half times 4, if you have difficult with that, go back to adding, multiplying, dividing fractions. A half times 4 is simply just 2. The right-hand side is 6. Now I can minus 2 from both sides, performing the opposite operation, putting the equal sign directly below where it belongs. 2 minus 2 is 0. Cross it off. We get 1 over 2x equals, on the right-hand side, 6 minus 2 is 4. Now I have a 2 on the bottom on the left-hand side. I just want to times those sides by 2. On the left-hand side, I have 2 over 2 is gone, is 1. Cross it off, and we'll get x equals 8. Check our answer. So we have 1 over 2, open bracket, x plus 4 equals 6. Carefully rewriting the question. Taking our x value that we just figured out, x equals 8, and very carefully substituting with brackets into the equation. Bed mass brackets first, inside the equation, 8 plus 4 is 12. Brackets around it, half right in front equals 6. Maybe a vertical bar sometimes when you're trying to keep your stuff separate. On the left-hand side, we have a half times 12, which is 6. Go back to fractions, check your answer on your calculator. 6 equals 6, x equals 8, check mark. Shrinking this stuff up a tad. So let's try a little short form. So we have 1/2 open bracket x plus 4 equals 6. Now on the left-hand side, we have 1/2 times x plus 4, the 1/2 times those brackets. I have a 2 on the bottom. I simply just want to times those sides by 2. But I could simply just cross off the 2 and put it where it belongs. So on the left-hand side, we just have x plus 4 because a 1 in front of brackets won't do anything, equals 12. Subtracting 4 from both sides, x equals 8, circle, check mark. Short forms. Do the short forms if you like, or don't. But choose one and decide to go with it and occasionally try the other one. Excuse me, shrinking up my work a little bit. Hopefully you're writing smaller than I am. Next question, 14 over x minus 3 equals, 14 over x minus 3 equals 2. So, in previous sections, we've seen stuff on the bottom. And if we have something on the bottom, we just want to times those sides by that thing on the bottom. So I have x minus 3 on the bottom. I'm going to put brackets around it. And I'm going to times those sides by x minus 3 with brackets. X minus 3, both sides, x minus 3. Correcting my work there. On the left-hand side, I have x minus 3 over x minus 3. I can cross those off. So I get 14 equals, on the right-hand side, I can distribute the 2. So I can put an arrow from the 2 to the x and the negative 3. 2 times x is simply 2x, and 2 times 3 is negative 3. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Now I want to perform the opposite operation to both sides. So I have a negative 6, working on bedmass backwards, doing my addition and subtraction first. Add 6 to both sides. 16 on the left, 16 plus 6 on the left-hand side is 20. On the right-hand side, negative 6 plus 6 is 0. Cross it off. Equals 2x. On the right-hand side, we have 2 times x. We're going to perform the opposite operation, which means divide. Divide both sides by 2. On the right-hand side, we have 2 over 2, which is 1. Cross it off. And on the left-hand side, 20 divided by 2 is 10. I'm going to mirror it. X equals 10. Circle your answer. Check your answer. 14 over x minus 3 equals 2. Carefully substituting our x value, 10, back in for x, substituting with brackets. On the left-hand side, we have 14 over, 10 minus 3 is 7. And 14 divided by 10 minus 3 is 7. And now 14 divided by 7 is 2. 2 equals 2. Near x equals 10 on the left-hand side, check mark. Always checking your answer. Okay, I'm going to shrink this stuff up a little bit so we can do one more quick form. Same question. 14 over x minus 3 equals 2. Now I have an x minus 3 on the bottom. Couldn't I just cross multiply it up? I'm going to put brackets around it carefully, cross it off, and just put x minus 3 over here. Yeah, that's way easier than timesing both sides by it. But it's getting away from the principle. So if you remember the principle every time, do whatever you want. But if you make mistakes, then remember to perform the opposite operation to both sides of the equation. So I'm just going to put dot, 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 because I literally just did that example 1 second ago. Great. Adding, subtracting, multiplying and dividing, solving equations, performing the opposite operation to both sides of the equation as the general principle, typically working on bedmass backwards, but as a better rule, just don't break any of the laws and do whatever you want to.